Hey, welcome here to a brand new episode. I'm your host, Dr. Faith Elizabeth Nanyonga. If you're listening in today, I'd like to take this minute to thank you for each and every time that you tune in to listen to me as I teach about career development and personal development. Your support is invaluable to me, and I don't take it for granted. If it's your first time here, welcome to the Frame Solution podcast. And if you'd like to be a fan, there are 3 ways you can support this show and spread the love. Every single share, subscribe count matters, so do not think your efforts go unnoticed. The first way you could support this show is by leaving a review in Apple Podcasts. Reviews not only make the world a better place for me, as the podcast gets to many ears, but also rank our podcast higher in the podcast charts. You can subscribe to this podcast so that you do not miss out any episode as they are released. And also, you could choose to be a guest on the podcast by sending in an email. The email address is theframesolutions@gmail.com. Thank you once again. You are listening to episode 24 of the Frame Solutions podcast. In this episode, I'd like to talk about what a meaningful career looks like. So the literal meaning of the word meaningful means to have meaning. Other meanings include worthwhile, important, consequential, or significant. And if you're like me, this is exactly what you want out of your career. You want your career to be meaningful. So we all want to have meaningful careers, but exactly what you need to do to have a meaningful career, what steps you need to take every single day in your career to make sure your career is meaningful. And that's exactly what we're going to discuss in this episode. My first point is know what meaningful means to you. This has been the topic in the last 2 episodes. I've talked about how to design an intentional career, how to design a meaningful career. And that's the first thing you need to do. You need to figure out what is meaningful in your career. Myself, while I was choosing a job, I chose a job that gives me the flexibility to enjoy working flexible hours. I chose a job that gives me the satisfaction at the end of the day of what I plan to get out of it in terms of what kind of work am I doing? Is the work in line with my values? Is it in line with my interests? These are questions that you need to ask yourself as you choose your work. As you look for a meaningful career, ask yourself, what does meaningful mean to me as a person? Because it's your career and you need to be in charge of your career. You are the driver of your career. The second point I'd like to talk about is legacy. Legacy is usually the concrete result that you want out of your work. Why are you doing that kind of work? What kind of impact would you like to cause in the world? If you're to ask a nurse, they might say I like to look after the sick to make sure they are comfortable. They want to be known for their kindness. Other people might want to invent new products and tools to help better the world. Other people might want to end climate change problems and help the world become a better place. So, what kind of legacy would you like to leave on earth? What kind of things would you like to be remembered for? This should also be pivotal in choosing your career path, because you want to be remembered as a person who contributed towards something. Legacy is very important for me. While I was choosing a career path, I wanted a career path whereby I could work actively towards the fight of infectious diseases. I've spoken about this in the previous episodes, but I wanted to do that because I come from Uganda, and it's a developing country where we are prone to many infectious diseases. So I wanted to contribute actively towards fighting these diseases and making the world a better place for the people in my country and also the world at large. That was one of the reasons as to why I chose my career path. The third point I would like to talk about is mastery. Mastery is about how you want to be remembered. Me choosing to pursue a PhD was basically that I want to be a master of my topic. I want to be an expert at what I do. I wanted to make sure that the work I do can cause an impact. And the only way I could do that is by advancing my education to learn the nitty-gritties of the topic that I'm researching. So that when I speak or when I think of an idea or when I come up with research questions to solve, I know why I'm choosing those research questions. That might be something you might look at to know whether you're going to be a master in a topic, and this might necessitate you to do further education, take up different activities and roles to advance your skills and your knowledge, and also to give more time to study the aspects of your career that you want to master. The next point I'd like to talk about is about the life you want out of your work. Meaningful work to me is not about working 24/7. It's about having a flexible working environment where I can be able to work and deliver the results as intended, and I can have a work-life balance to be able to take care of my family, to be able to enjoy some time of work, and to be able to do other things outside my field. So that was something very important for me while I'm choosing a career. I chose a career whereby I could have at least some time to do things outside my expertise that light me up. So the other thing, it's about autonomy. You might want to become a master in something because you want to be able to come up with new ideas and to be able to speak and people will listen. Autonomy is very important in terms of coming up with research ideas and taking control of your work. I've read a book by a guy called Cal Newport, and Cal Newport's book is called So Good That They Can't Ignore You. This book tells you about the aspects of becoming so good that no one can ignore you. To become so good so that no one ignores you, you need to master your topic of study. You need to have the zeal to study and become better than everyone else. You need to put in the work to be able to become that kind of person whose skills speak for you. That you don't need to say your name when you enter a room. You just have to say what you're good at and people will know you for your skills and your expertise. So if you'd like to learn more about this, you could get this book and read it for yourself. It gives a lot of good points that can help you build a career of your own dreams. And to build a career of your own dreams is not about just wishing. It's about you doing the work. You need to put in the work to be able to establish this career. And to establish this career, most of the time, you're going to do the dirty work. The dirty work means putting in time to study, to master your expertise, to master those topics that you want to learn, and also to advance your career through practice and implementing the skills and the knowledge that you've acquired. Next point I'm going to talk about is about the freedom. I've talked about this, like when I was choosing my job, I wanted a job that gives me the freedom to do things that I love to do besides me being employed. And I found that my career aligns with my vision. The next point I'm going to talk about is alignment. To have career alignment means that the work you're doing aligns with your true values and your true skills and your knowledge. I teach this in my framework where I teach you how to establish a career path that aligns with who you truly are. And to do this usually is about exploiting your skills, exploiting your expertise, and exploiting your values, and choosing that exact place where your interests, your values, and your skills intertwine. It's like a Venn diagram of 3 circles, whereby in the middle, that's where those 3 aspects of your career align. And alignment means that each day that you wake up to do your work, you'll be thrilled to be there to do the work. You'll be thrilled to do the kind of work that you do because you have alignment. So these are the points that I need to tell you today. If you want to look for a career that's meaningful, you have to factor in what impact are you looking at causing? What kind of freedom are you after? What kind of autonomy are you hoping for? What kind of mastery do you want out of your current career path? And choose a career path that aligns with you. I hope you've learned something from this episode. And if you have, please rate and review wherever you listen to your podcast. Subscribe to this podcast. Share it with your family, friends, and those that you think are interested in career development. Also, follow me on the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. The username is The Frame Solutions. I can't wait to speak to you in the next episode. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.